I want to ask you something here. And a lot of people, come to this country, a lot of people come to Canada, and they wonder, what is credit? All right, we answered it already. Why is it so important? You know, what do you think, Mr.
Well,
Elias?
there's so many different things, right? Let's start with the obvious. The first and foremost thing that you're going to need credit for in Canada, even if you're not going to apply for a mortgage to buy a house, even if you're not going to get a car loan, the most basic fundamental thing your credit report is required for is your cell phone.
Absolutely.
If you want to get a cell phone, or you're going to get a phone number here, and you want to establish a method of being able to communicate with people, that in itself is also going to require a credit report, an application. The other thing, like I said, it's really, really, really important. Don't forget that when you're now leasing, if maybe you're not going to buy a place, but you still need a place to live. You still need to rent, right? And it doesn't matter if you're renting a basement apartment or a penthouse condominium or mansion, right? Or anything in between, right?
Yeah.
The reality is that even though you might have the financial cash to the capital to pay for it, landlords are still relying on your credit report to verify and confirm your ability to fulfill the lease terms. So your credit report is so important for some of these items. And another major component that is really important for people to note, if you're applying for jobs with certain industries, okay, whether it's insurance, finance, if you want to be a mortgage agent, you want to be a real estate broker, whatever those things are as well, there are also credit ramifications as well that are involved. So you want to be very careful with what you do in terms of your credit. So it affects you not just for getting a mortgage, it can affect you in so many different facets of your life. So it's very, very, very important that you take credit seriously. And now, not to be negative and be like, oh, pessimistic, oh, your credit is gonna this, that. Here's the good news.
Yeah.
When you're a newcomer and you're establishing your credit, it's much, much, much easier to actually build good credit from the start than it is if you're now rebuilding your credit from someone that has bad credit. So I'll give you an example. If an individual has, let's say, declared bankruptcy, or they've gone through what's called a credit proposal, which is essentially like a bankruptcy, right? Essentially, these are things that stay in your credit report for 7 years,
I see.
5 to 7 years, even after you discharge the proposal or the bankruptcy. So the fact that you've now taken care of your problems by declaring bankruptcy or by doing, it's still going to follow you. And it's actually going to make it so much harder for you to be able to get out of that state and to actually build good credit. And that's 7 years. Imagine 5 years, 7 years. Yeah, sure, time flies, but how much could you get done if you had a pretty good credit report or a pretty decent credit score, right? And you were able to do, like, how much could you be losing out on as well over that 5 or 7 year period? So the advantage that you have as a newcomer, right, is that yes, of course, you're starting from scratch, but the fact that you're starting with a clean slate means you've got an opportunity to build on something that's clean, right? And if you start with the right habits and you start with the right, so if you start by doing the right things and maintaining the right financial habits from the start, then your credit score will be phenomenal.
Terrific. That is such a good answer. How newcomers can establish their credit when they come to this country, right? But I wanna focus something here. Mr. Elias, he talked about habits here, and I want to tell you guys something. If you're coming to this country, there are two ways, right? Two kind of habits you have to develop, and I tell most of my business partners, if they are not financially literate, I tell them, there is a habit by force and there is a habit by discipline, right? Habit by force or habit by discipline. If you have the discipline, you can have anything in your life,
It's true.
right?
It's true.
if there's no discipline, somebody else will force you to be disciplined.
That you can learn things the easy way or the hard way.
Absolutely.
But either way, you'll have to learn. And when it comes to credit, right, especially when you're trying to establish and build it up like really quickly, it's very, very important that you're implying the right discipline the easiest possible way. It's one of those things, if you learn the hard way, it could be costly for you. And it's so important that you stay on top of it.